different level to this. Hardly the biggest secret in boxing that Billy Joe finds it pretty tough to get down to this middleweight limit. Is that going to be a factor?
But he's used to doing that. He's used to, I think he's used to dropping away quick. And he's done 12 rounds, 7 times scheduled for 10, 12 rounders, and done 7 times. So I think he was comfortable with doing the distance. Just depends on the one pace. So Akavov is a guy he's a counter puncher, he's an aggressive counter puncher. He sits on that back foot, so he's hard to hit clean, but he's always further away than what you think. Puts that front foot right in between the stance, does put you under pressure.
Billy Joe been preparing in Marbella for this contest.
The biggest worry for Billy, because he's been out so long and he is a pure boxer, is the sharpness. And when you are just an out-and-out boxer, you need that sharpness all the time, and inactivity affects that.
Another offer, I gather, has been made to Chris Eubank Jr. for a rematch in the new year. That's another possibility in the career of Billy Joe Saunders.
But all that means nothing.
No,
the talk of Golovkin, the talk of Canelo. Well, this is what matters tonight. This might as well be Golovkin, Eubank and Canelo all in one, because if you don't win this, all them fights are gone.
Last 2 fights for Akavov since he signed with Lou DiBella have both been in the States and both wound up with stoppages.
It's the quality of Akavov's opposition. That's the difference between what Billy Joe has been up against.
Not a lot from Saunders so far, though, in this opening round. It's more like it.
There's not a lot from anyone, really.
That's a very quiet one, isn't it? That's a decent left hand from Akavov.
He's going to find it a little bit awkward, Saunders, because I said Akavov does sit on that back foot. So you've got to reach over to hit the target, and that's going to be a little bit awkward to just get used to that. But I think once he finds his range, he should have enough ability to see it through.
Well, quiet open for the first time in a fight for Billy Joe Saunders. Become accustomed in his previous 23 to have heard the voice of Jimmy Tibbs. Not there for this one. Danny Vaughan, the other man in the corner. More experienced guy, and I wonder if we might hear more from him as the fight unfolds. We'll see.
And Johnny Roy as well, also in the corner. So
yeah,
plenty of experience in there.
Johnny, he'd be the cut man if it were needed, presumably. Yeah. How did you score that opener, Barry? It was a close one, wasn't it?
10-10, I couldn't split them. I don't think anyone did anything, John, to be honest. Both having a good look at each other, but no one really landed with anything. Akavov with a nice little left hand close to the end of the round, and Billy with a nice little couple of punches as well, so there's nothing in it.
Akavov, the more defined from a muscular point of view.
And with a couple of little light left hands there, Akavov. Billy just got to be careful he don't make these rounds too close, because the judges might just want to go with the guy who's trying to force the fight, the aggressor.
And Akavov, we can be sure, where possible, will be the man on the front foot.
It's better from Bill. Get that jab into play.
Billy Joe's dad at ringside as ever. There he is, just behind by the corner. Decent body shot there from Akavov. And he's the one who's forcing it, isn't he, Barry?
Yeah, well, he is now, but there was just a little few moments there when Billy put him on the back foot, and that was much better from him. Got his punches together better, a few combinations in there.
Another quiet passage of the fight.
Here's another close round in, almost, but for me, I just...
WBO middleweight title defence for Billy Joe Saunders, and we're into the third round.
It's about the idea for Akavov there. Just no throw punches. No, Billy's hard to hit clean, so you've got to throw in combinations. There you go.
That's through with the left hand there, Akavov. And he certainly doesn't look as razor sharp as, for instance, he did in the early stages of the fight against Chris Eubank. And indeed against Andy Lee when he had him down in the early part of the fight twice. Almost got caught by that right hand from Akavov.
Better from Bill. Good round so far for Akavov. He's forced the pace, he throws punches in combinations, not everything's landing.
Akavov, a former WBO European title holder. He felt the weight of that.
Just not doing enough, is he, Saunders?
Not at the moment. And of course fighting the southpaw, but the usual hand speed and accuracy with the jab, it's not quite what it normally is. And he's caught again by that right-hand counter from Akavov.
Really good round for Akavov.
Saunders has got his work cut out here. He's going to have to wake up to the fact that this is a genuine fight.
Oh, lovely bit of skill there, though.
Well, good footwork, wasn't it? Akavov, Barry, as we move now into the fourth round. Akavov is really starting to fancy this one, Barry.
Well, so there's just Saunders not doing anything. That's why, I think, it's been out for a while. He's having just getting his grounding, but it's a world title fight. That's a nice jab.
better.
That's the first bit of speed I've seen from Saunders so far tonight. Let's hope he just needed a couple of rounds just to get his distance and his the feel back.
If he has massively struggled to make the weight, the further it goes, the more of a problem that might be for Saunders.
But I think at this pace it won't be. I think Akavov got to really push the pace to make it tell. And that much is for sure. It's just the sharpness I worry about for Saunders being out for so long. If he can get that back quick, then he'll be fine. But if not, he's going to struggle.
Starting to have the look of a night which is not going to be an easy one, this.
Oh, nice bit of movement there.
Akavov unable to land shots, even though he had him cornered. Well, it's not been a great round, this one, Barry.
Again, it's like the first inning, nothing happening.
A frustrating sort of fight to watch at the moment, this. And Billy Joe...
And so he knows, listen, he's a clever boxer, he knows what to do. It's just been out long time, I don't know whether he can do it. And right now, he needs to really have a big push. He needs to just be busier, he needs to work behind that jab a bit more. I know it's difficult with Akavov because he does sit on the back foot. But Billy can push the fight. We've seen it before.
Oh, he didn't want to take left hands like that. Solid shot from Akavov.
It's Akavov who's the one forcing the pace. And in those close rounds like the last round, I couldn't split him in the last round because I don't think anyone did enough. But you might tend to think they might give it to Akavov because he was the one going forward, trying to work the fight, trying to land with punches.
There's a lethargy about Billy Joe, which has not been seen.
Well, since Gary Bolden, his first 10 rounds.
Yeah, calls from his corner to step it up. That's better. Taking on the gloves, those two.
Oh, nice little right hook there off the ropes from Saunders, though. But Akavov got to go back to throwing those combinations.
He's trying to tee him up for one big left hand, isn't he? And I don't think that's going to win him. Going to win him the fight. Saunders again on the ropes.
And nothing landed there, but it just gives the impression that Akavov's doing the better work. I don't know why you want to do that. Billy can make you miss in the centre of the ring and counter Billy Joe Saunders. Just do that. And Saunders has been brilliant at spinning around the target in the past. There's no pivoting on the front foot from him at the minute.
Maybe it'll still be a case of ring rust. Maybe as the rounds unfold, he will look better. But at the moment, this is certainly not the level at which we know he can perform. It's more like it. A couple of decent jabs from Saunders. And another.
A little right hook there from Akavov. Just a little bit short there with that left hand, though.
He fancies it, Barry. There's no sense of him being overawed.
But Billy needs to make him feel something.
The corner to smarten up their act a bit. Akavov is very much in this fight.
Well, it's just nothing to choose between the rounds. That's a good start here from Akavov.
There's no point disguising the fact, though, Billy Joe Saunders looks sluggish here.
Yeah, he does. And maybe that's acceptable for a year off, but having a year off is not acceptable, maybe. You know, it's good from Akavov there. Again, coming in with those 3 punches. Now, he misses with the first 2, but if he's so committed, the last one gets through the guard.
He's doing nothing exceptional, Barry. He's just staying on him, isn't he?
Yeah.
An upset of seismic proportions if Arthur Akavov were to pull this one off tonight.
Well, he's in it, John. You know,
very much so.
The 6th round now, and he's in it. Oh, lovely.
Quality shot that from Saunders, and moving nicely away. A muted atmosphere as well here in Glasgow.
He's barely thrown the right hand, Saunders. It's good from Akavov, trying to get a little bit of spring in his step. Something that Saunders should be doing. Saunders should be feinting a little bit, trying to draw this guy on.
Akavov almost walked into a solid right hand there. Saunders supporters, you hear a few plaintive shouts of "Come on, Billy Joe."
He wouldn't fall off with that left hand there with Saunders, just missed. At least he let it go. That's what it is. That's what you see.
Well, we're into the second half of the fight. On an hour card, for what it's worth, it is very close indeed. Saunders backpedaling, yet to throw a... Well, now he does get through with a right-hand lead. I was going to say yet to throw a punch in this round.
And to be honest, if you're in the corner of Saunders, I think you've got to be saying, listen, you're down. Because, you know, this guy, all these rounds are close. This guy's pushing the fight. He's making the... And you know, judges prefer aggression. It's not always the case. It shouldn't be the case, but they do. And I think, you know, you've got to be busy. Just got to be busier.
Well, Barry, I've heard a lot of corner advice and I've sat through many a world title fight over 20 years, nearing 30 years now. It's an awful long time, and I can tell you that Billy Joe is not getting an awful lot in that corner.
He needs more urgency. I think that's one thing for sure. Listen, they got a plan and they've been trained together. They know what
that's better. Right hand, left hand, found the head.
And just to prove that when he lets his hands go, he's accurate, he hits the target.
Well, there's a flash of quality there from Saunders. Maybe at last he's appreciating the urgency of the situation.
Good jab.
Well, He's had that flash. Now he needs to build on it. Decent jab. Akavov, based in Brooklyn, originally from a city, a Russian city quite close to the Estonian border, Pskov. Actually appeared for Estonia as an amateur, as well as Russia, of course.
Yeah, the good start of the round, Billy Joe, and he's probably done enough to win it unless Akavov lands with it, a real good combination, but
it's not what we used to.
No, he's laid off, hasn't he? And all that talk of Billy not being a big puncher, Saunders not being a massive hitter, and he's not a massive hitter, but he's been quite spiteful at times. And when he's had a bit of success, he builds on success and he enjoys hitting people, and that's what he does.
There was the little burst of quality action from Billy Joe Saunders. But if you looked at the rest of the round, there wasn't a great deal.
No, the rounds are close, and that's all it is. But he doesn't look the same, Saunders. And you've got to think as well, some of those rounds are good level, you get them to Akavov, and Akavov's he's a couple of points up, and I wouldn't argue with that either.
Nice lead by Akavov. Incidentally, if you're wondering at home whether we're being kind to Billy Joe Saunders or whether it's really as close as we're saying, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn to say that at this stage Stevie Lillis has got Akavov ahead. If he's not getting warning signs and instruction from his corner that he needs to step it up and he's potentially in a heap of trouble, then he certainly needs to get it pretty soon.
Well, he does, of course. You know, people, like I said, people are always going to favour the aggressor. So especially that first round was a nothing round. What if they give that to Akavov? All of a sudden he's level. That other round is close. It was a nothing round. They give that to Akavov. He's run up all of a sudden.
Well, there's only one man been forcing it in the first minute of this round. And that's the bearded Russian, the man with nothing to lose.
Good little dip, a little dip and a right hook there from Akavov.
A slip, no knockdown.
Blocked. That wasn't blocked, but the first combination was blocked there from Akavov.
It's like one of those dream sequences a little bit for Billy Joe, where you're running through water or running through treacle and you can't quite get the body to do what the head's trying to tell you to do. Wide punches on the arms from Saunders. Now he does get through with the right hand to the body, but back comes Akavov. Crowd realise that it is in a key stage of the fight, and here comes Saunders, good left hand. Almost for the first time, Akavov is stunned by that. Now can Saunders build? Here he comes again.
This is what I need to do. This is what I need to do from the offset. Show him who the champion is.
Well, this was the best attack that Saunders had produced in the fight so far.
Well, at last he did something, and it made a big difference, didn't it? All of a sudden, Akavov looked not vulnerable, but he didn't like it.
Ninth round. Has Saunders awoken at last, realising perhaps the seriousness of the situation and producing that big finish to the 8th round. Barry's got him ahead now on his scorecard, but he needs the rounds from here to be sure.
Oh, most definitely needs a round to be here. I'm not confident at all in that scorecard.
Decent left hand from Saunders, allowing Akavov to commit himself and then punishing him.
He's had a good start of the round, hasn't he, Saunders?
Great body shot.
To be fair, he's listened to the corner. They said you've got to start pushing him back. Maybe should have been the advice a few rounds earlier, but he's trying to do that now.
Decent left hook from Akavov in that exchange. This is more like the Saunders we know.
Oh, good left hand off the ropes there, though, from Akavov. Should have spanned Saunders there, though. You don't want to start giving ground again now, Billy Joe. Well, he got some momentum going. Keep pushing this fella back.
Animated advice being given by Tyson Fury on the far side of the ring. After 6 rounds, manager Francis Warren had made his way around here to ask how we'd got it, at which point we said there's nothing in it, so maybe the message has been passed on.
Yeah.
Saunders on our card taking the last 2 rounds, and not before time.
Done enough in this round as well, Saunders. Slow down a little bit to the end of the round, could keep it going, but it was better than this round. This is Saunders.
To go, and Barry's got Billy Joe Saunders now by a 3-point margin. Good start to the round from Akavov.
We had one of these earlier, what was it, round 7 I think, or 8, and Saunders just nicked it off him, but a fantastic start from Akavov.
This is sustained pressure from the Russian.
But you've got to keep doing this, Akavov. You've got to throw his punches in clusters all the time.
Good left hand from Billy Joe. Shake of the head from Akavov, but he's forced to give ground. Saunders really digging in deep here.
Well, Saunders landed with the best punch of the round so far, that's for sure, but Akavov had a better start.
It was a great start from Akavov, but he's not been able to sustain it. Great first 30 seconds. But since then, the boss has been Saunders. Akavov's mouth hanging open, he's feeling the pace, as indeed is Billy Joe Saunders.
And struggling with accuracy is Saunders. Oh, not there though, with a lovely jab. Which is something we don't say too often about him. I don't think Akavov's hurt. But no, he's struggling for pace. He doesn't look like that way, but he stopped coming forward.
Not throwing punches, Barry. So it was a bit of a telltale sign.
Oh, nice little left hand there.
After the first 30 seconds, this has been a Saunders round.
Done well, Saunders. Dug in a little bit in this round. Good body shot though there from Akavov. Nice little throw, missing and would think everything actually there. But
perhaps just as well. I think Billy Joe felt the weight of that left hand to the body. Gloves came down, Akavov tried to punish him and couldn't find the target. Nice shot from Saunders. And again. Well, he's definitely moved up a gear over the last 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah, he's really pulled away a little bit, hasn't he, in the second.
Had to do it, and that's another. And he's ahead now on our card, and quite clearly so. But early rounds, my goodness, didn't he struggle? Struggled to find the rhythm, the accuracy.
But it could be close. All those first 6 rounds could have gone anywhere, and you think it could still be really close. He still can't afford to lose a round.
Akavov again starting fairly fast.
I mean, Billy can't take a round off now. He can't. Even though he's had 3 or 4 good rounds on the spin, you got to keep it going. For that, those 3 or 4 rounds might not be enough. They are on my card, but they might not be enough on the judges.
Certainly been dominant from halfway onwards. Saunders only 27 years old, but it's not been the sprightly performance that he might have hoped for. Shipped another left hand there from Akavov.
And a right hook as well. Akavov's got to be, if he got it in the tank, got to be pushing Saunders back. When Saunders is being a little bit lazy or catching a breath, that's when Akavov's got to throw his punches in bursts.
Well, now's the time, isn't it, really?
No, both of them got to feel it's close. They can't take a round off. That's good from Akavov there. Nice little
good hand squeeze, isn't it?
Yeah. And a right hook as well there.
Saunders looking a little bit tired. Closing stages of this 11th. Last 30 seconds, one way or the other, could decide which way this round goes.
Missed there, Saunders. Crowd clapping, but he missed. And Akavov responded.
Head rocked back by a couple of right hands. Only people cheering Akavov on in this auditorium are his cornerman. Can have an effect on judges, of course. Well, he saw by 3 points. Opinion is by no means unanimous at ringside. There are those who think that Akavov is ahead, and it could be that it's all on this last round.
Great little right hook there from Akavov.
Started really fast, the Russian. And a good left hand as well.
Just looks the sharper at the minute, doesn't he?
Saunders have his preparations let him down. And if he wins, is it going to be a case of one that he got away with? Caught by another right hand as he came in. And Akavov is looking full of it after the first minute of the last round that he's dominated.
Yeah, but he looks like he just got more in the tank. I think Billy's got the more skill, but Akavov looks like he's definitely got more in the tank. Tried to mount an assault there, Saunders, but heavy and tired.
Almost falling into him, isn't he? Pushing the punches. All the snap has gone out of his work now. And he almost falls to the ground in exhaustion. Pushed down by Akavov, yes, but he is just about spent.
It's been a good start to the final round so far, halfway stage. Someone's got to pull it back now. It's a massive effort.
He's got to dig in and find some fighting heart now. Akavov continues to push, continues to press. How Billy Joe Saunders from somewhere could do with some quality shots now.
Good work there for Akavov again.
Saunders just fighting on instinct, and he's really produced nothing in this last period so far.
It's also the same, when you're a pure boxer, you need to be fit, you need to be sharp. And Billy just not sharp enough. Might be the ring rust, losing the weight, dropping the weight too quick, as rumours would suggest.
Well, he certainly looks as though there's not a lot left there at this point. I remember years ago, I remember once seeing Chris Eubank fight over in South Africa against a fellow called Shoma, and he somehow managed to get a decision, and he said afterwards, he admitted that he'd not got his preparations right, he'd not trained right, and he was very, very fortunate on that occasion to get away with it. And I just wonder if there might be an element of that with Bill.
Judge Martinez, 115-113, the winner. And still, the